You can know that most of you have already got talent to be entrepreneurs. That is a good point because we are doctors and we are hard workers, and we have a good intelligent quotient, of course, and we are team players. So it's not really hard for you to be entrepreneurs. So tonight I want to discuss about young doctors technopreneurship for sustainable primary healthcare to anticipate fourth industrial revolution. Slide. This slide. This is the first batch of our leadership and entrepreneurship training. We have finished this few months ago. You can see that the two brothers at the upper part and the left upper part of this picture, both of them are the best participants in their training. So the left is Dr. Pingfu, and he is now our new elected chair in Raja Kumar movement. And at the right side is Dr. Hongti. So both of them were the best participants in the first batch of this training. So this is a picture of our training since last year until mid-year of this year. And thus I want to notice that if we do this training once a week, then we need 1 year, almost 1 year to finish it. Thus I recommend us to do this training in the second batch in a more frequent meeting, maybe twice a week or maybe 5 times a week. So we will spread out polling for gathering your answer about this, right? Slide, Jessica. This slide. Now we can see that artificial intelligence beats doctors at predicting heart disease deaths. But this is our threat for our career in the next future because robots can beat us. Okay, next slide, Jessica. And artificial intelligence or AI boosts cancer screens to nearly 100% accuracy. This is also a threat for pathologists who often do biopsies and etc. You can see that even robots can defeat you. However, you can see at the bottom part of my slide, however, we still need human touch. Thus, I'm still convinced that primary care will still exist in the next future because we insist on human touch in our service. So please don't really afraid of this advancement, right? Please. You can click this link. This is from World Economic Forum. It's all about Industrial Revolution 4.0. You can see it by yourself. Okay, next slide. I will share this slide for you. Slide? Okay. So, the previous slide, please. Okay. So entrepreneurship is a basic survival skill in modern era. And entrepreneurship is the act of being an entrepreneur or the owner or manager of a business enterprise who by risk and initiative attempts to make progress. But in early 19th century, French economist Jean-Baptiste Say provided a broad definition of entrepreneurship. He was saying that it shifts economic resources out of an area of lower and into an area of higher productivity and greater yield. So entrepreneurs create something new, something different. They change or transmute values. And to be a good entrepreneur, someone should have entrepreneurship spirit. And entrepreneurship spirit is not only about owning a business. So I have to repeat this. Entrepreneurship spirit is not only about owning a business, but also integrating various kinds of innovation to be really implemented. So you can work with other people, with your boss, with your companies, you still can be an entrepreneur. How come? Because you can be an intrapreneur. Intrapreneur is to implement entrepreneurship in your own company when you're still working with other people, with other boss, right? So, and also you must notice that if you are a researcher, you also must have entrepreneurship spirit. Why? Because of course, you cannot just write down and print it your publication. There is just a paper. You must make a real product in the society. You also must make a real health service in your community. So of course, you should have an entrepreneurship skills to do this. So you can implement your research in a real setting, right? Maybe in the clinical setting or even in a business or in service. It's not only about business. Okay. So furthermore, regardless of the firm size or your company size, big or small, they can partake in entrepreneurship opportunities. Okay, next slide. First, there must be opportunities or situations to recombine resources to generate profit. And the second, entrepreneurship requires differences between people, such as preferential access to certain individuals or the ability to recognize information about opportunities. And the third, you should take the risk if necessary. And the fourth, the entrepreneurial process requires the organization of people and resources. Okay. Slide, Jessica. So this is just a summary. You can read it by yourself. Next slide. Okay. So if we have kind of all technologies, then we can make our environments becomes more greener, right? We can save our environment. That's the point of this picture. Okay, next slide. So while entrepreneurship is often associated with new small for-profit startups, entrepreneurial behavior can be seen in small, medium, and large-sized firms, new and established firms, and in for-profit and not-for-profit organizations, including voluntary sector groups, even charitable organization and government. They can be social technopreneurs. So it's not all about profit. If you want to make foundation or charity movement based on foundation organization, of course, you also need entrepreneurial skills, because you should convince other people to donate, right? And also you have to manage that foundation, even you won't get any profit from there, right? So we call that as social entrepreneurship. Okay, next slide, Jessica. So these are the Entrepreneurial Scholars Program. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, you can make a product, or you can deliver specific service, or even you can be a social entrepreneur. So it's not all about making profit, right? And it's not all about business, but also you can be social entrepreneurs. You can deliver health services, for example, in pharmacies, for example, or you can make product like online platform like Capsula, telemedicine apps, or etc., or even you can make drugs. Okay, next slide. So what about medical doctors? Can primary care doctors become entrepreneurs? Of course, you can answer it, right? Because you know that all of you have got good answer, and you have good talent to be entrepreneurs based on our quiz. Okay, next slide. So once again, it's not all about profit. You can be social entrepreneurs. Next slide. Now, the problem is that in medical school, we lack of entrepreneurship competencies when we learn about medical things, right? So thus, we should do that by ourselves. So you have to learn it by yourself. So thus, we provide this training for you. Okay. Next slide. So young minds, big change. So this is the right time for you to be entrepreneurs because you are still young as young doctors. And also, even though you can see that KFC founder, he was in his old age when he was establishing KFC. So the main point is that it's not only the age, but the young minds. Because if you have the young minds, even though you have an old age, it doesn't matter at all. Because young minds will trigger the big change. Okay, next slide. Finally, do we have entrepreneurial skills, right? What is the healthcare marketplace? What are the problems created by third-party payment, like insurance? What is integrated care? What is the role of information technology in healthcare? And can the healthcare marketplace exist without third-party payment? Is there any changing nature of entrepreneurship in healthcare? What lessons can we learn from examples and the obstacles to healthcare entrepreneurship? Is there any growing opportunities in business to business in healthcare? So all of these questions will be our questions as doctors, and we should answer this in the next future. Next slide. So defining global healthcare entrepreneurship. So it's all about strategic, cultural, and political aspects. The number one, we have to improve the existing organization and processes, and we have to create new organizations and processes, and we have to improve how organizations keep stakeholders healthy. So the third point is the most interesting part because family doctors have this main role, right? Because we want our stakeholders, our patients, and etc. to keep the health, right? And we have to improve the health. Next slide. So as long as a doctor has innovation in their daily works, they have already had entrepreneurship spirit. That's the summary, right? In fact, medical doctors are hard workers. We are fast decision makers. We are risk takers. We are leaders which have equipped them to be good entrepreneurs. Unfortunately, medical doctors are lack of entrepreneurship training. Thus, entrepreneurship trainings which develop many kinds of family care business models will be needed to fill the gap. Right? Those trainings will stimulate family care doctors about the new ideas and how to make basic business